Hello, listener. We had a little bit of technical difficulties at the beginning of this episode, so we're going to cut right into the regularly scheduled programming. Like, I went to look up what that was about, and Zoom fucking crashed. So, anyway, Zoom.
Anyways, some homework. So we had some mild weather. It was 55 degrees. Actually took a walk still with a jacket on because the breeze was blowing over snow that was still there. And I looked up at the wind, looked up at the sky, and I said, "You're teasing me, and I know it. I won't be fooled, but I'll enjoy it for one day." And I did. Today, it's just...
Are you often that direct with God about?
It was the weather. It was the weather. It was the weather person.
The weatherman.
The weather god. Goddess. Yeah. It's probably a woman. So 23 degrees and 18 with the wind chill factor. I went outside, and because everything melted yesterday, my zippered tent garage was encased in ice, and the zipper would not come up. And my sister-in-law had all of her stuff sitting on the dry, cold, very cold ground with the zippers frozen. So the tool of the week. We'll see. The week's early yet. Is WD-40 and hot
Lubricate.
Lubricate. Don't hesitate. Lubricate.
Yes.
Don't wait.
Mm-hmm.
Spray that shit down there, a little hot water, zippity doo-dah.
So you sprayed it on the zipper?
Yes. Zipper. And then it was still frozen. So I got a little bottle of hot water and poured it down the zipper like a little slope.
Hot zipper.
Waterfall slope, and zip right up. Did the same thing. Zip. So the tool of the day. Could be the tool of the week.
Would you say
next week? And I'll tell you.
Zippity doo dah.
Zippity did that.
Zippity done.
Zippity did that.
Zippity done did that.
Zippity yay. Oh my morning. What a beautiful day.
So I purchased an item of clothing that I have never owned before.
Really?
Yes. No. I've owned a pair of underwear for since last week. No.
Same pair, I'm sure.
It's the same pair since I was 12. Yeah.
That's nice.
They're getting a little tight.
That's nice.
When they say tighty whitey, it's whoa. But
I can only imagine, and I don't want to. So
luckily cotton is stretchy. No, my wife told me, "Hey, your favorite sweater that I'm sure you have seen me in several half dozen times." She said, "Your sweater has a hole in the elbow, so we need to buy you a new sweater. So let's go to the shop to buy you a new sweater." And me being a doofus husband was like, "Yeah, fine, whatever." And so we went, and sure enough, there was a new sweater that fit and was like, "Yeah, whatever, okay." And so we put that into we're going to buy this pile. And then she started shopping for jeans or other pants and stuff. And
for you or for her?
For her. And then an hour and a half went by, and I got a text from my kids saying, "Hey, we're hungry. Can I start cooking something? Because we're starving."
Do you mind if we start a fire in the kitchen?
Right, exactly. And I was like, "Yeah, I guess, sure, go ahead." Because I don't know why this is taking so long, because I'm sitting here.
You just thought you were going to get a sweater.
It was told to me as, "Hey, let's go buy you a sweater." But while we were there, I've been curious about this particular garment for a while, but
let me get this straight. You spend some of your time thinking about garments that you might wear?
Very few seconds. Over the course of 5 or 10 years,
but I've been
curious about it. I've been curious about this garment for 5 minutes over the past 10 years. But so anyway,
shows a point of lack of curiosity.
Exactly. So here I am, super bored in this store,
and you see the garment in question, unknown garment, mystery garment,
and I start trying on winter vests. And they're all too small for me, because everything in this store that is on the shelf on the rack is too small for me, because I'm a big boy. But between giving my wife different pants to try on, the shop owner looks at me and says, "Hey, let's try and find you a vest that fits." And so anyway, I like the idea of a winter vest. It's got all of the insulation of a winter coat that's full of the typical thing now is full of goose feathers or whatever, down. But this is a thing that's full of down, but it's only on my torso. And that's, for now, it's super weird for me to imagine.
And so I'm surprised that you've never
I've never been a vest boy.
A vest. I must say, I currently have 4 such winter vests.
Right, exactly. But that's the thing it's never occurred to me or never happened to me that to wear a thing where my arms were
totally free,
unprotected, and my torso wasn't. So this is a new thing, a new experience for me. And
my favorite is my canvas vest. Canvas vest with a synthetic fur liner, big heavy zipper, Carhartt that you might imagine. That's my favorite. The other ones that are filled with down or synthetic down, which is synthetic down now has completely surpassed the power of down. And the stuff they're selling now it isn't any thicker than a notepad, and it's the same warmth. But the bitch with the down was that if it ripped at all, you were screwed because it's really hard to patch it up, and it's susceptible to tears and punctures. Unlike my Carhartt, which if I ran into a nail, the nail would bend and the Carhartt would scream out, "Is that all you got?"
Carhartt. Okay, that should be a sponsor for this episode.
Well, we should reach out to them. I'm a big proponent of Carhartt.
Okay, I will discover how that is spelled when I am editing this, and we'll put a link in the show notes, potentially, depending on how much they give us. Anyone else that wants to give us money can go to Happy Hour. No, what is it? Patreon.com/Happy Hour.
Why?
I don't know why I said it.
Give me your bullet points. Give me your talking points about why people should send us money. I need a little refresher. Just the quick 3 or 4 talking points, the elevator speech.
Anyone who has laughed so far listening to this nonsense, they are the ones. Yeah.
Those of you who enjoy drivel is $5 a barrel.
So I have to say,
you don't have to.
I do have to.
I always wonder when people say, "Who's making you say it?"
My own conscience is making me say this. What I'm about to say.
Come on, who are you?
Will you shut up and let me say it?
You don't have a consciousness.
No.
What you have can't pass for that.
Okay.
You're on a lower.
What I'm about to say is going to be said.
You're on a lower realm.
What I'm about to say is going to be said. Here it comes. Shut up.
Go ahead.
So on the way back from Myrtle Beach, Father and I listened to some of our early episodes, and it was pretty entertaining. I have to say, episode 1 and 2 and 3, I can't vouch for anything after that. But like when you sliced your fucking hand open and you were talking about how you were being raced to the emergency room and whatnot, and then also how, I don't know, in episode 1 you were talking about how I needed to see Moonstruck. It was like from the get-go, there we were.
It only took you 138 episodes
at least.
Finally see it, right?
Yes. No,
God, she was gorgeous. And that
who?
Cher was unbelievable.
No.
Oh, you're not. Oh, that's right. I remember this bullshit.
I'm not a Cher girl.
When you went on and on about it, and this is that.
Olivia was way cuter than Cher.
Wow.
Are
you from fucking Iceland?
Close.
Actually, much closer than me, as it turns out. So it turned cold here, freezing cold, snowed, got up, had a winter zipper with the tool today, back to winter. And Sis loaded up and went home. She had a great visit. So wonderful to have her. She's a beautiful dog, young and a little bit boisterous, and shit a couple of times, but just a marvelous little animal. I would be training it differently. I punish my dogs when they shit in my floor. I put their nose in it, and I say no, and I snap them on the nose, and I go to the door, and I take their paw, and I scratch the door with their paw, and I push them outside. If I do that 3 times, the dog will never shit inside again, because my goal here is to quit the shit. Then I will love my dog every minute. But until then,
that's never worked with me.
Your wife's done this with you many times.
Yeah,
dragged you to the door,
still shit on the
made
floor.
You paw.
Yeah.
You still shit in the living room.
Yeah, I do.
You're such a beast. You young people are all the same.
That's where
shitting on your furniture, shitting where you live.
Shit happens, man.
Shit happens.
That was your generation that said that.
Oh, yeah. I remember what it was, that Tom Hanks movie.
Yeah, the Forrest Gump. Yeah.
Forrest Gump, where he's running and shit happens thing he gets splashed with mud. And a guy with a T-shirt says, "Here, man, use this, clean your face." And when he cleans his face,
it's
the image the mud leaves.
Yeah.
It's a smiley face that goes where shit happens.
Oh,
too clever.
Yeah.
That was a damn clever movie.
So you had a dog visitor.
Yes.
What was the dog's name?
Poppy. The puppy. Poppy the puppy.
Poppy the puppy did poopy. Poppy the puppy did poopy.
You're too fast for me. Poppy the puppy did poopy. Woo.
And also pee-pee. Puppy the puppy did poopy and pee-pee. All the vowels.
A.
Pappy.
I think you've had too much 43,
Pappy.
my young fellow
Pappy
webinar.
Pappy the
webinar
puppy
partner.
did poopy pee 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 poo.
My
Yes.
webinar partner. Blithering. We'll go from drivel to blither.
So I had a cultural experience this past weekend.
That's the first.
I know,
Go to
right?
the opera or what?
Close. I went to the theater.
The theater. Where did you first put on your schedule?
I put on my schedule to go to the theater. Yes. And so my wife and I escaped because we are at the point where
You want to kill your children?
with enough duct tape, they'll stay put.
Right.
But we're at the point where they can handle themselves for an evening. And so we went out to the theater, which was a 45-minute drive away because we live in a small town, and to get to a proper city, you have to go far.
Seville?
No, that's a 9-hour drive away.
Oh, okay. I used to have a map of Spain near me.
Yes. And anyway, it was fun. It was, and a thing that I find from my time in England and my time in Spain is that there are very few top level celebrities. So the person in England, the person that was the host for some goofball reality TV show, Big Brother or whatever, was also the host of the celebrities dancing show. Or there's a very small number of people that are the hosts of things, and
sought after hosts, professional hosts.
Sure. And so anyway, so we saw a play where one of the actors was the host of the Spanish version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Cool.
So it was like a TV
personality, television personality. Yes.
And we've also we've previously seen other shows where there were people that were there were actors that we knew from TV and sitcoms or whatever. And many of these, actually, were I a consumer of Spanish television, I would have known more of these actors.
But what was it, a play or a musical?
No, it was a play. And I will recap because no one listening to this will have ever heard of this play. It was, the general plot was, it's a dinner party between two couples, and one of the men is really upset because his boss is he's being passed over for the senior position, and there's some young fuck that's coming in and being promoted, and the younger guy is really
the younger guy of the couple.
No, in his company, and the younger guy that's taking his possible promotion position is young and fit and perfect in a way that he isn't. And the other guy of the couple, his mother, who has been widowed for a while and is super rich, and he's very much looking forward to receiving his inheritance for that. His mother is dating this much younger Russian man that is there.
The Russians.
And is there in the son's mind, is there to take the inheritance and whatnot. And I don't know, it's this, in a way that clever theater can be, it's telling this story that is much broader than what is shown on the stage, but it's everyone telling what they have seen when they have left the stage to go see other things.
Your comprehension of Spanish must be total at this point.
Yes, thank you.
You would go.
Yes, right. It was all in Spanish, and I understood more or less everything. Yeah, but it was clever in this way of being able to tell this wider story just from people meeting in one apartment for a dinner.
Yeah, it's a characterization with just 4 actors. That's a lot to carry for how long? Was it an hour?
An hour and a little bit. Hour and a little bit.
Was it a 3-act? Did it have an intermission?
No intermission.
So it's just three acts or 2 acts, or you don't know?
I wouldn't count the acts.
It would be in the schedule, in the handout, in the bill.
Yeah, no, I was handed no bill. No, but it was an hour and a little bit, but it was not so long that you get worried or bored or whatever. But it was quite good. And
here's to you and your theatrical.
But on our drive home, our main takeaway was, man, we should have brought our daughter to this. because
yeah,
like
because
we thought
aspiring actress.
like we thought that it was going to be maybe too adult, but she would have understood everything and
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
But you had time alone, so that's important.
And also, yes, having a time, yes, a date, with a wife is nice.
The date, yes. Hey, I thought we'd have a little fun. Last episode, I talked about the fact that I had to cancel my credit card with Dave, who shook me in the bar and said, "How about the Mets?"
Tell me about it. Tell me more.
And so I finally got the credit card, and I thought I got the bill, and it would have been the last thing I did way back. Let's see. Oh, it's there. He's paid. It went through. Zeno's was paid. Dave has been paid.
Zeno's was paid. Yes.
Yes.
Our listeners have been on the edge of their
bar stool.
Bar stool. I was going to say on the edge of their trucker seat.
Toilet seat.
Toilet seat. Because that's where you listen to us.
I'm post vacation settling in. Thank God the winter's not going to be here that much longer.
So you recovered. I was a little bit worried about your ice cream sundae.
Thing.
Yeah. Like you recovered from that, like blood sugar wise.
Yeah, within it by the next day. It's just a spike. But but that was gluttonous. That was now, you sent me a picture of me when I was 230 pounds.
You were a fat
Recently.
motherfucker. Yeah.
I was a big boy. That was 50 pounds ago.
Yeah.
50 pounds ago. And I've kept it off for going on 4 years, I believe. So I think it's a permanent thing. I ate my way through Louisiana. I'm fond of saying that. I became a carb steam shovel. 5 meals a day. My wife said, "Why are you eating again? You just ate. You can't possibly be hungry." I said, "Honey, I'm not hungry at all. I'm eating this because it's so fucking delicious." Anyway, got to get back down there. Violent crime has surged down in New Orleans like it has in a lot of places. It's distrust in the police, which results in difficulty to identify witnesses for any crimes. It's rough, man. Yeah. Some lady went to Costco in the daylight, was getting gas, lined up at a Costco, and somebody came and assaulted her and stole her fucking car. People everywhere. Broad daylight. The other guy was shot broad daylight when going down the highway. People are afraid to drive anywhere. It's just nuts.
Yeah, man. That's scary. I had a moment today where my daughter, who is going to be 13 soon, but is still 12, forwarded me a message that her French teacher sent her. And it was all in French. And then 10 minutes later, she wrote to me and she said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot that you don't read French." Let me explain what she's saying, which I thought was just fantastic to have my fucking 12-year-old know more of anything than I do. So that's great.
No more of anything.
Yeah. So she said, "Oh man, I'm sorry. I forgot that you don't read French." It's like, fuck off.
She did. Do you think she forgot? She didn't forget.
No, she said that though.
Oh yeah. Right. So, she was actually poking the bear a little bit.
Well, I mean, the bear is pokeable. So we're currently in a, I'm sure I've talked about this before, but we're in this week where the teachers of my region have decided that every so often they need a week of vacation. So my kids are not in school this week.
It's a part of their union contract.
It's not a union thing, but it's very similar. Like
it's a government jobs, teachers?
Government jobs. Yeah. And they have
what type of municipality?
For the whole region. So it's like a state, I guess, is the closest we can go to.
What is the name of the region?
Cantabria. And so they've negotiated this several years back, and like it's celebrating Carnival, Lent, Mardi Gras, because that's where we are.
What do you mean? It either is or it isn't. I mean, is it the same exact time?
So the school in the previous week made a big thing about Carnival because that's a thing in Spain. And then they were like, "Oh, the next week should be a week off or whatever." So I don't know.
Well, but
then they take a week off in November too for no reason.
Well, but isn't it true that the Spanish workforce enjoy a much more laid back set of expectations than the American workforce?
True, but also the Spanish workforce this week where the kids aren't in school, the parents have to figure out a way to tell their employers that they're not going to work, or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's complicated. But anyway, I complain, but I shouldn't.
Well, you're on safe ground here, my friend. You just
I
speak your heart.
My mind here.
Speak your mind.
Speak my mind.
Right on, brother.
Yeah. I feel
Fight the motherfuckers. Fight them.
Fight the motherfucking teachers. Yes.
So I'm going to give you a book report next week. That's on my homework list. That's all I'm going to say about it. But put it in your notes. A book report, and some likely additional homework.
Wait. That's for me.
For you.
Or work that you will have done.
Oh, I will give you the book report, and then I will give you a homework assignment.
Fuck. Okay.
Which will be to read the book. But you got nothing but time. Look, you're in a studio that has guitars hanging on the wall. I know you got a lot of free time. Taking them down, strumming that shit all the time, just jamming.
Would that I had the moment to touch them. Yes.
Really? True? No time? You should probably do that every day for at least 5 minutes. Should be part of your fucking routine, man. Your Nirvana routine.
I know.
Am I right? To be centered
I know.
Music for 5 minutes.
To be centered.
Just before you eat lunch or after you eat lunch, where you still got that mellow, you ate, almost ready to get back to work. 5 minutes.
Yes. Huh? I should. Yes.
A few ideas. So you know how we've been going to the beach all these years. And my thought is this, is that if I drive the same distance that I drive now, and instead of going to the beach, I go to the North Carolina, Georgia border mountains, Tennessee mountains, heading toward Asheville. Asheville, in fact, presents quite an opportunity because the idea is to play some golf, but just 2 days. Yeah. 2-day tournament. And otherwise, it's mainly a music venue.
Yes.
And what will be featured is showtime at the local pub at the conclusion of the time that we're together.
Yes.
So we will be spending our days to prepare for the gig, beginning with what essentially is, rather than a talent show, is a submission, is a tune for consideration, until we have a full two sets.
I love it.
Second set, a lot of jamming. How can I get your electric guitar there, though? Or Phil, bring you one.
Yeah, one could be acquired, but
one would need
to have practiced upon one.
I thought you had been playing some, no?
I should.
Say no more.
Like, it's there. I can see it.
Oh, this is unacceptable, bro.
I know, right? I apologize.
Just let's set a time. I'll join you with my harp. Listen, call and respond.
Yeah.
I'm convinced that the best way to learn an instrument is to learn a song. As simple as it can be.
Yeah.
Just learn one song. One song you can play and just master that song. Don't worry about anything else. And by the time you've mastered the song, you've learned so much about other songs that you'll learn. But it's all dedicated to performance. You're going to play the instrument because you're going to learn it well enough to be able to perform it. So you need to practice it again and again and again and again. You don't even have to understand it.
This is what I tell my kids.
You don't have to understand. You don't have to understand. Not practice. Not practice. Play it.
No. Well, I mean,
play it.
Yeah,
play it. Not the keys. Not what they taught me in high school when I was trumpet taking.
No. But yes, playing it again and again.
Here's a Dizzy Gillespie tune. We're going to learn that our first year. So listen to these parts, and I'll teach you how to play it. I'd still be playing.
Okay.
Hey, I finished up my old label.
Yes, I saw you switch to a. What's
you seem to be nodding a little bit. I think too much 43. How do you say that in Spanish? How would you say too much 43 in Spanish?
I have had a long day already.
Well, we won't keep you there much longer, but you've got to have enough to do at least the taping. So we need a few more minutes. So your opportunity to be clever for the first time tonight it's still wide open. Come on now.
Apparently, Zoom is going to cut us off here in less than a minute.
Why?
So,
why? Did you not pay your bill? Why? Has it been an hour?
No, Zoom is a bastard. So anyway, another week is gone. Here we are.
Here we are. And where we'll be. What was that? I had a story to tell. Oh, so I finally ended the saga of the $28 oil change that cost What was that all about?
That I told you Zoom was.
I know.
So the saga of the $28 oil change.
Oh, which cost the company well over $700.
The company,
because the auto service company. Because I took my car in, changed the oil. They put the cap in crossways, so it was stripped.
They put the cap in crossways.
Oil leaked all over my driveway. I took the car in. I said, all the oil's gone. What did you do? They said, we fired the guy. We have to replace not just the screw, but the pan, because the pan is stripped. Okay, do that. Next day, sorry, but in order to get the pan out, we had to lift the engine off the chassis a bit. And so we used a brace that we put on either side of the car. And that brace, when we lifted the engine, pushed your fender and dented it out. And so I said, it's an older car. And then when they closed it, I could see a gap that you could put it. It was about a 1/4 inch gap. I said, I'll never be able to sell a car looking like that. So I had to put a new fender on it. And so I finally picked up the car today and got the new fender on it. Took it to the Goodyear place. And to their credit, they paid for it. Put it on the company credit card for $661. And plus the cost of the oil pan, everything they did before then, I didn't pay for any of that. So it was probably well over $1,000. To their credit, they stuck by it, and it was pretty painless. I know it's enough to make.
Wow, man!
It's enough just to shut you right up with just satisfied joy that there's people out there that are good to their word. I know you were stunned into. You were like, wow, this is.
Is he still talking? This is
I wasn't looking. Good. Did you take another swig of your 43?
No.
There's some things I think you're interested in, because you most of the time you're not quite as dull as this. You have a little interest.
No, sometimes you interest me, but other times not so much. What can I say?
Sure. Oh, you're too funny.
Yeah.
You're a real card. You're a whole deck of cards. You need to be dealt with.
Yes. I'm a deck.
You're a deck.
Yes.
Hey, so did you anything about sports? I know you hate to talk about it, but Juwan Howard from the Fab Five, the coach of U of M, was in a game, and because they didn't like the way the game ended, he didn't want to shake the coach's hand. So instead of the shaking a hands line, starting with the two coaches, Michigan's coach Juwan Howard, an $80 million millionaire, who U of M man from way back, he hangs to the back of the line. And then finally catches up with the coach from the other team. And he points to him and he says, I'm going to remember that shit, which is that the opposing coach called a timeout when there was only 15 seconds left and they were up by 15 points. He thought it was bullshit. Their coach makes the mistake of holding him by the arm to say, wait a minute, that timeout I took was legit. And Juwan Howard screams at him and says, don't you fucking touch me. And they get into and he grabs him by the shirt. Juwan Howard grabs the other coach by the shirt. He's 6'4", and guard is like 6, And then people started pushing and shoving as Juwan Howard was getting. And then this assistant coach runs up and says something to Juwan Howard. Juwan Howard makes a fist. You should see it in slow motion. Makes a fist, is going at this assistant coach's head. And then at the very last minute, opens his hand and ends up grazing the guy on the side, trying to rip his fucking ear off. Huh. And they didn't know what to call it. Was it a punch? Was it a slap? They call it a smosh.
Smosh you.
And they suspended him for the rest of the $80 million leader of men. And then as a result of him punching two players.
College coaches making that much money?
He's wealthy because of his career in the National Basketball Association. He made all of his money.
NBA, they call that.
Yeah, 5 or 6 professional teams. He was quite renowned.
Okay. I withdraw my condemnation.
Well, no. He's still getting paid millions. I mean, plus, hey, did you see the flap on Phil Mickelson? That he's bouncing out of golf for a little while?
Doing now?
Phil Mickelson is going to quit playing golf for a little while because he was doing a book interview and claims, erroneously as it turns out, that he was under confidential protection. He said this about the Saudi league that they're trying to start. He said, yeah, I know it would be doing business with those scary motherfuckers. But you know what? At the end of the day, we don't have any leverage in the PGA. And as much as everybody knows that the head of the PGA is a nice guy, he won't do anything we want unless we have leverage. And so this league may give us leverage, whether it succeeds or not. And Rory McIlroy and Johnson and others come out and say, Mickelson, you know what? If you ain't happy, go fuck yourself. It was brutal. The shit that Rory McIlroy said about it, egotistical, naive, selfish.
Lefty motherfucker.
Oh, right. You left-handed some bitch. And so he issued, and he's a good guy. He issued a statement saying that he thought it was off the record. It's like, Phil, what does that matter? It's the point of what you said, number one. And number two, you really don't know that? You really don't know that this is about what you said, not whether or not you thought it was confidential? Come on, man. Why are you making excuses? Then he finally apologized, and now he's taking a break.
So whoa. He's in trouble because he said those motherfuckers?
No, not so much that, but because he's supporting the Saudi League and suggesting that he's going to play with them.
And no one else wants to because it's
competing with the PGA. Well, there's fewer events and there's more money.
Okay.
Many fewer events and much more money. It's a Saudi money laundering scheme is basically what it is.
Yeah.
And he says in this interview, I know they killed Khashoggi. I know this, I know that. And it's still.
But money be money, right?
He helped them write the bylaws or some legal paper that formed the Saudi League. And so he's bowing out. And he lost one sponsor and said to all his sponsors, $40 million a year in sponsorship.
Right.
He said to one of them, I think a 7 million sponsor, something like that. And they said, you're right. See ya.
Yeah. So I just want to say that at patreon.com/happy hour, all the Saudi money we'll take it. If you have made your money doing whatever nonsense that you have ever done, we will take it.
Killers, murders, and thieves are welcome. That's what you're saying, basically. Those are some of the talking
points. My words, not my words.
We talked about earlier.
But
the talking points. You weren't
quite. Yes.
We
will take blood money, basically.
You weren't particularly snappy earlier, and now it's not. You're not. And there's no snap at all there. Whoa.
Snappy.
Oh, the shark has really teeth dear, and it shows them
pearly whites.
Just a jackknife has old Keith, baby, and it keeps it out of sight.
Don't cut me with your Mac knife, man. Okay, that's it for a rather bizarre and short episode 144. You can find the show notes at happyhour.fm/144. And as always, you can help support the show at patreon.com/happyhour. And you guys be safe out there. There's like a war starting and stuff, so be safe. We'll see you next week.